States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Davis.
Here.
Sion, absent. Schneider.
Here.
Weaver.
Here.
Wilson.
Here.
Sukasar.
Here.
Sukas W.
Here.
Make a motion that we excuse that.
Support.
Sion, absent. Schneider.
Yes.
Weaver.
Yep.
Wilson. Sukasar.
Yes.
Sukas W.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Non-agenda items from sidelines. I don't have any. Comments from city administration. Donna?
Taxes are due the 31st.
Taxes are due the 31st. Anything else? Chief? Clark?
We had a water survey performed on July 2nd of this year, and the MDQ found us to be satisfactory. And I also contacted Ron Perry from Great Lakes, and he can do a pollution incident prevention plan for $1,000.
That's on this here, yeah.
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 And he can probably have it done before the end of October. It was about 4 meetings with me, so
Yeah.
ask him to,
Yeah, I think that we should do that, because none of us are capable of doing that.
yeah, to retrofit somebody else's, isn't it?
Right, and
It's not,
we did talk to, or you did talk to BMJ.
Yeah.
They had to start from scratch and it cost more.
Thousands.
And it's a requirement of the violation.
Right.
So I really think we should do that, and I don't.
what is his name?
Ron Perry, I've worked with him before when he was part of Michigan Rural Water, which we're associated with.
Well,
Does anybody want to make a motion
I
to?
would, unless if anybody else has any questions, fine, otherwise I'll make a motion that we approve the, I forget his name again.
Ron Perry.
To make this report, so we're
DIPP.
meet the requirements of the violation.
Or.
Schneider.
Yes.
Weaver.
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
Sukasar.
Yes.
Sukas W.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Sion, absent.
And thank you very much, that's all I have.
All right, our building inspector is here. Do you have anything to say? Or you just want to wait till you come up on?
Bring me up later, that's fine.
All right. All right, adoption or amendment of the agenda?
One amendment is unfinished business number 1, and it's ordinance number 196. No further, well, we should, it should be on there, and then we'll address it.
Okay.
No further change, I make a motion to adopt the.
You know what, I didn't hear what you said, I'm sorry.
Okay.
We're
We're adding an unfinished business number 1, ordinance number 196. Okay, it's noise control. No further change, I'll make a motion to adopt the agenda as amended.
Support.
Weaver.
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
Sukasar.
Yes.
Sukas W.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Sion, absent. Schneider.
Yes.
Hopefully we all had a chance to go over the regular meeting minutes of August 6th, 2013, and the executive meeting minutes of August 6th, 2013. If there's no questions or comments or changes, I'd entertain a motion to accept those.
If there's no discussion, I'll make a motion to that effect.
Support.
Wilson.
Yes.
Sukasar.
Yes.
Sukas W.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Sion, absent. Schneider.
Yes.
Weaver.
Yes. Next, we have Stewart, Bouvet, and Whipple here to give us our annual, the 2012-2013 annual audit. So the floor is yours, sir.
Thank you. My name is Paul Bailey. I'm the partner in charge of your of the engagement, your audit engagement. I think everybody got a copy of the audit report tonight at your place. Before we get into the numbers, my staff comes out and spends about a week doing your audit. We spent a couple, 3 people. Everything went very well during your audit. Your staff's very cooperative with us, which we greatly appreciate. When we're all done, we go back, we draft it up, and then we come out and go over a draft meeting with the mayor and Mr. Wilson as well as Donna here, and we go through it in a lot of detail. We're going to go through it pretty quickly tonight. If you have any questions, stop me along the way, or anytime during the year, if you have any questions, feel free to give me a call later. If you turn into page, just past the table of contents, it says page 1 on the bottom. It's on Stewart, Mulvey, and Whipple's letterhead. It's in the maroon binder. This is independent auditor's report on the top. This is where our firm gives an opinion on whether your financial statements are presented in accordance with general accepted accounting principles. And like in past years, you have what they call an unqualified or clean opinion. And basically that means everything in the financial statements is presented in accordance with general accepted accounting principles the way they should be. And that's what the Michigan Department of Treasury is looking for when they get it. There's a little bit of change to this letter. If you put it side by side with last year, there's just some different classifications, but it basically means the same thing and says the same thing when you get all said and done. If you look on page 3, the next couple, 3, 4, and 5, there's something called the management discussions and analysis. We're not going to spend a lot of time with it tonight, but it's a 3 or 4 page letter that's put together for the reader to try to explain some very summarized financial information about the city and how the financial statements are put together. We're going to talk a little bit more detail in this letter, so we'll just kind of go through it, skip through it tonight. If you turn to page 8, I know I'm flipping you very quickly. Page 8. There's really 2 sets of financial statements in your audit packet. There's the commercial way of looking at the city, and then what we're going to spend most of the time tonight on is the traditional way governmental units that are always reported. The commercial way, the difference is that it includes the value of the building. So it includes whatever the historical value of this building is, or any roads that you build, and things like that. I guess when you get, the only thing I'll point out is you get down to the very right-hand column, in the second and the last column there. If you were a corporation, your equity would be $4,267,865, and all your net position or your equity would be positive. A lot of governmental units have given a lot of benefits away and things like that, so their equity on a commercial way of looking at things is negative. You're positive in all respects. If you turn to page 11 now, this is where we'll spend a little bit of our time. Page 11 shows your general fund. As of June 30th, 2013, you had cash of $151,213. Your general fund had investments of $508,712. Some receivables, interest, and accounts that come in after the end of the year are $13,015. Due from federal and state government is $72,366, which is your state shared revenue that comes in July, as well as some CDBG money that comes in. And then local dollars of $2,700 for total assets of $748,006. Your accounts payable there, you'll see liabilities that the city owed as of that date of $15,762. Liabilities of $5,444. Deposits that you have on hand of $6,300. Deferred revenue is money that you received prior to, and you can't spend, you haven't spent it at the end of the year. Doesn't come in within 60 days. For total liabilities of $83,086, which is left what they call fund balance, or your carry forward into the year that you're currently in, of $664,920. There's 2 different classifications there. There's a portion of it's restricted, as we've talked in prior years. That's for the salvage value and your salvage revenues. As you're well aware, you get money in for salvage inspection, less expenses, and the carry forward number there would be $15,843, which can only be used for law enforcement, which left your unassigned fund balance at the end of the year just a little over $649,000. You can see your fund balance of your major street fund right next to it, $276,310. Again, you can be used just on major street funds. Your local streets fund balance of $88,437, which are right across on fund balance. And then the other column is all your capital projects funds. You set aside money for equipment replacement. and in total, they had 141,538, and in the back, it breaks it down, so much for the fire department, so much for the police department, and so forth. If you turn over to page 13, this is the operating statement. The first column is the general fund. You'll see you took in taxes of $349,978, some licenses and permits, federal and state revenues of $156,712. You see the local charges for services of $277,279. Total revenues of the general fund for the year ended June 30th, 2013, $862,547. You'll see your expenditures for the year of $871,758. So before you did any transfers or what they call other financing sources, your general fund actually spent $9,211 more than you took in. I will say one thing though is during the year you paid off your loan, library loan.
Yes.
To save on interest, and you did save quite a bit of interest, and that's in that $92,000. So if you wouldn't have had that paid off your loan early, you would have been to the positive there. You then go down to other financing sources, uses. You sold some capital assets for $6,000. Transfers to other funds was just transferring over to your capital replacement funds to set money aside of $31,495. Transfers to other funds of $130,155. $51,500 went to your local streets, and $78,655 went to your equipment replacement. When you take all that into consideration, your general fund actually this year spent $101,871 more than it took in. But again, almost $93,000 of that was to pay off your library loan. So if you added back $93,000, you'd be almost to break even. You would have had a loss of almost $8,000 for the year, or expenditure going. So that's really good in these times. Plus, you saved yourself quite a bit of interest by paying that loan off early. As you're well aware, that we talked last year, the banks are paying very little percentage of money, and you were paying out, 3 and 4 and 5%. So
The
it's
projected interest savings was about $25,000.
25. That's good. The major street fund is right next to it. The major street fund took in $62,315. This year you spent $31,700, so you had revenues over expenditures of $30,615. The next column is the local street fund, where the Act 51 money goes to the local street. You took in total of $25,511. You spent $116,000. You transferred in from the general fund $51,500. So when you take all that into consideration, you actually spent $39,252 more than you took in your local street fund, which used up some of your fund balance.
Right, and actually that will be replaced in there with CDG funds involved.
In the future. Again, the other column, you'll see the only activity is a little bit of interest and then transfers in and out. That's your capital replacement funds, which are all broke down in the back. If we go over to page 15 and 16, this is your water and sewer fund. You'll see on page 15 is what they call statement of net position, or the balance sheet gives a snapshot of the water and sewer fund as of June 30th. You'll see you had unrestricted cash of $200,720 as of June 30th. Your accounts receivable or unbilled or uncollected water and sewer bills of $60,298 for total current assets of $261. There's some restricted assets, money that's collected to pay off your bond debt. We'll talk a little bit more of that, of $58,000. Your non-current assets there is the value of the water and sewer lines. These funds operate similar to a business, so they have the value of the water and sewer lines recorded right within the funds. You then go into your liabilities or items that this fund owes. There's a few accounts payable for about $3,079. Some other what they call accrued liabilities, just some accrued payroll for total current liabilities of $5,959. It then gets into your accounts payable for restricted asset interest on your bond issue of $290, and then finally your bond issue of $85,000, and that will be paid off during the current year. This will be last year your bond issue, and we'll talk a little bit more about that as we come. That leaves your net position or equity at the end of the year a total of $1,740,385 at the very bottom of the page. But that money is not available to spend. Really, if you look at your unrestricted number there, that's the number that your water fund had. Water and sewer fund is $255,536. That's the money that is available in your water and sewer fund at the end of the year. If we turn to page 16, this is the operating statement for your water and sewer fund. You'll see you have water charges of $127,495, sewer disposal charges of $108,748, some other revenues of $6,306 for total, operating revenues of $242,579. It then lists your operating expenses, wages, supplies, utilities, and so forth. Total operating expenses of $266,548. So from operations, you had what they call an operating loss of $23,949, but that includes depreciation on your system, the wear and tear on the lines. If you add that back, you would have been to the good about $20,000. And a couple of years ago, we recommended that you work with your rates, and you did, and it looks like they're doing what you wanted them to do. You're paying for all your operating costs, as well as paying for about 50% of your depreciation charges on top of it. And then list some non-operating revenues and expenses, some interest, earned interest expense, and then your debt service charge of $91,000. Again, that is, as you're well aware, is the debt service charge that's put on the bill to pay off that bond issue that will go away after the current year when the bond issue is repaid. Overall, I think your water and sewer fund is doing good. It's working the way you planned. So that's a real quick synopsis of the numbers. Any questions on the numbers? I got a couple letters I want to go over too with you, and we can come back to the numbers too if you want. The two letters that I think was attached to your packet, the first one I want to talk about is independent auditor's report on internal control, a one-page letter that should be included. In order for a CPA firm to do an audit, one of the things we have to do is we have to take a look at how transactions flow through the accounting process. When invoices come in, how do they get recorded? How do they get paid? How do they get to the council for approval and so forth? And we look at the receiving process, the expenditure process, the payroll process, and any accounting process there, not only to determine if there's any areas that have any weaknesses, but also where we're going to spend our time. I'm happy to report there's really only one area that's technically a weakness, and you really can't do anything about it. And I've explained in the past years, back when Enron was going on a few years ago, 8 or 10 years ago now, they come up with this crazy standard that every entity, regardless of whether it's General Motors or the corner store, should have somebody on staff that could draft their own audit financial statements. Well, that's just ridiculous. The clients we deal with, that's what you hire us for, is to pull that audit report together. Technically, the accounting standards say that, well, because if we do that for you, if we made a mistake, the city would not know it. But we specialize in doing governmental accounting. Don't worry about it. What we explain here is you justify the cost benefit of any control. Any control has a cost benefit. If it costs more to put in place than the benefit, there's no reason to do it. And that's the only area that we commented there. It's just a technicality. The second letter is an audit communication letter, because this is audit communication on the top. Because CPA firms aren't required to come and do an audit presentation like this, we definitely appreciate the opportunity to present your audit and also answer any questions. It just kind of goes through if we had any difficulties during the audit, and your staff, as I started out with, is very cooperative. We didn't have any difficulties through there. It just goes through a few other areas on your report there. I guess the only thing is also on the very back, second to last page, it would become we do about 40, 50 governmental units, as well as plus some nonprofit entities. Sometimes we have things that we'd like you just to consider. They're not what they call weaknesses in your controls, but just areas that could maybe strengthen, or areas that we want you to consider. And there's really just 3 of them on here. The first one is maybe just come up with a process to have somebody, if you got a small office staff of just 2 people that works in this stuff, is have somebody review voided receipts. And I think when we talk with the mayor, Mr. Wilson, is they're going to look at them periodically at the end of each month. Somebody's going to come in and look at those. And what it does is, I know when you go like to Myers or Walmart, if the teller has to void a receipt, they have to call a manager over. Well, government units don't have those people available, so you got to come up with another process. And what you're trying to do is just make sure that there's not a whole bunch of void, so that somebody could do something in the transaction. And that just strengthens your internal control a little bit more. The next one there just is talking about a receiving process in your police department. We didn't find any problems or anything, but you're starting to collect some money through your police department, and we think there should be an actual receipt book in there so that the individual that pays any money can get an actual copy of a receipt, plus then copies of it can be provided to the city treasurer to add up to make sure that's the amount being deposited. They're just and the last one there, as I indicated earlier, your water and sewer bonds are going to be paid off in 2013-14. And that debt service charge that you have there will no longer be required to pay off the debt. And I know over the years when we come out and do a draft meeting, we've talked about, when that goes away, maybe using some of that charge to establish what they call an equipment replacement money. I know I indicated you had about $200,000 in cash, but that's not a lot of money to replace the water and sewer system. So when that charge goes away for your debt service charge, what we're saying is that maybe you should consider, maybe 50% of it or some number of that, leaving it on the bill and keeping it just for system improvements or system replacement.
Is there a number we should shoot for, or a percentage of our total?
Not really, without doing a big, look at it. I can't give you, what you want to, currently you raise about $94,000 with your debt service charge. So, it just depends on how much you think you want on an annual basis. A lot of times what we'll do with that situation is we'll have maybe your DPW person, I don't want to put them on the spot, say, okay, let's take a look, 5, 10, and 20 years. What do we know we're going to need to do? Are we going to need to paint the tower in 7 years? Are we going to need to, what are we going to need to do?
That's the way we do it, like in a commercial entity, you take each thing that you might have to replace and say what the life of it is, and then divide that amount, and the replacement cost would be over the years of the life, so that you can put reserves for replacement aside, so that when the life of like a backhoe or whatever is gone, you have money set aside to replace it.
In the water and sewer, the major expense might be the lagoons. That could come up, I don't know, every 20 years or something, which probably, we're even approaching that this year.
Yeah, based on my last study, the amount of sludge, approximately 10 inches.
Yeah.
That's since 1993. So
20 years.
breaking that down, you normally get 15 to 20 years, and I think we're going to actually exceed that.
Well, we have a special, so that's something we should look at.
That being said,
And
that
by
years
year,
will pass.
yeah, by year end, this year fiscal end, this will have to be paid off in June, I think. And I think that we'll look at it and project costs and maybe start something.
Just like the pulling of the wells, routine maintenance and such.
Right.
We're going to be pulling, we had the unexpected one that happened, and for this fiscal year, we are going to go pull number 1, and then next year, number 3 would be in line to pull. Then we have a couple of years.
So we'll look at that.
Yeah, this is just a heads up, guys. Really, there's no problem. We just want to make sure we brought it to your attention.
I think we speak about it every year.
Any questions? I know I went through it very fast. I know you got other things.
Well, I guess my first question is about this cash receipt void. This is just going to be a policy, or this is going to be something separate of the software, or something that we're going to come up with?
I think your software that you bought has helped the process. I mean, the new software that you got is fairly user-friendly, and I think that's helped the process. This is just having somebody external, and I think either the mayor or Mr. Wilson indicated they were going to come in at the end of each month and review them and put a signature on a report, and that way somebody else has taken a look at them. So it's actually a process that has to happen. That's what we're asking.
So it will end up kind of being a policy. Right now, all the transfers, I look through those and sign all those, and so basically it'll be the same thing.
Just a part of
looking at it, like if somebody pays a water bill and they invert some numbers,
Right, oh, yeah.
and I have to void it and put another one, like put one in. I look at the void and say, okay, I understand.
It looks reasonable.
Sign off on it.
Well, thank you, Paul.
Yes, thank you.
It's a pleasure to work with you again.
Yep, thank you. All right, moving on, communications. Can I get a motion to accept communications? Support.
Sukasar,
Yes.
Lucas W.
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Messiah absent Schneider,
Yes.
Weaver,
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
First communication is about the Halloween hoedown, proposal night, from Linda Lavery to Miss Memphis chairperson. She requests permission to utilize the Bell River Park October 19th, 2013, from 2 p.m. to 12 p.m. Food, square dancing, collar, hay rides. She wants the town to be involved, and it's still in the planning stage. So she needs approval basically to use Bell River Park, October 19th.
2 p.m. to midnight, right?
Yeah.
Thought the park closes at 10 o'clock.
It does, so it'll have to be a special thing that's allowed.
Okay.
Is it necessary for the tournament?
They can lock the gate when they're done.
Do you have anything you want to say, Linda?
No, I'm just here in case there's any questions.
I think
I mean,
maybe it could be 11.
whatever you
What
guys
time you go to
want.
bed?
I mean,
I go to bed at 11.
Where's the hayride's gonna be? Just
Sometimes
around
at
the park?
10:30.
around town, the whole town, trying to get the town involved
Yeah.
where, you know, they'll stop at maybe Boomers for some cider, the winery, you know, Smitty's. I'm trying to get everybody involved.
And the bar's open later than 11, right?
Yeah, the bar's open till 2. I mean, I just want, you know, I want it in
You
the
know,
afternoon for the families.
Right.
And then after that, I want it somewhat adult, so. But if it's an issue, I mean, I can do it at what I want.
Here's the thing, if it's a Halloween thing, going to midnight is not a bad idea.
I talked to the granary, they're involved, they're gonna be involved, they're gonna let us park and maybe have like a haunted house or something, you know, I talked to them. They said no problem, they're on board with it, so.
All right. Anybody else have any questions, concerns, comments?
I'll make a motion to allow this to go on. I have no problems with it from 19th of October, 2 p.m. to midnight at Weedsville Park.
How are you gonna pay for it?
Selling tickets for the food, we're gonna have tickets, sell tickets ahead of time, so.
Is it gonna be a cost? Oh,
All right, we gonna vote?
okay. Yep.
We get
Eastport.
Eastport.
Lucas W.
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Messiah absent Schneider,
Yes.
Weaver,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Sukasar.
Yes.
Good luck, Al, it's a huge
Yeah.
success.
I don't go anywhere.
Next, is from Connor Kovac. I am Connor Kovac, a Life Scout with Troop 245 here in Memphis. I'm looking to conduct a community service project to serve as my Eagle project. I found that the police department currently does not have a flagpole on their premises. I would like to dig a hole, drop the pole in place, and raise an American flag. The majority of the materials will be donated, such as the flagpole and the base. The other items will be purchased with the money from my scouting account. I will be using the resources of my fellow scouts, friends, and family to carry out this project. The project estimated to only take a few days, provided good weather and no unforeseen problems. It's your police department, would you like a flagpole?
So you knew about this, right?
Yes.
Anybody make a motion to allow Connor Kovac to
I'll
put a
make that
flagpole?
motion.
Under the
Yeah,
guy.
I'm sorry. Before we go any further, so we're gonna figure out where this is going prior to.
Well,
Make
why
sure
don't we
that-
make the motion under the guidance of our DPW director?
Or at
Who
least
handles all our, basically handles all our
Or at least call
public
this
bids and,
Make sure we call Miss Dig anyway, which of course we'll just call Mark.
okay, do we have support for,
Board.
Davis,
Yes.
Messiah absent Schneider,
Yes.
Weaver,
yes?
Wilson,
Yes.
Sukasar,
Yes.
Lucas W.
Yes.
All right, unfinished business, ordinance 196. This is the noise ordinance and fireworks ordinance. I had a meeting with the fire department this past week, and St. Clair County is actually working on a fireworks ordinance that they would appreciate the communities in the county adopting. So I was hoping maybe we could table this and put it aside until they get theirs in place, so we can decide if we want to go with that or something else.
I think I would prefer that, that way then everybody would be on the same page, instead of having, you know, each individual.
Yes, sir.
So, and I think it would come out fairly quick, so.
Well, the only problem with that is according to the state law, that means that we cannot make it 11 o'clock, it would have to be midnight. Because the state law says if the county is less than 300 or 750,000.
I mentioned that to them.
Okay. I'm just saying, and I don't have a problem with tabling this, but just to pre-warn you that unless they're going against the state guidelines, that there's gonna be a midnight instead of 11.
I'm hoping maybe Macomb County is working on one as well. And
No, our,
It would be 12 instead. We can, this,
Ours says 12.
yeah.
only on New Year's Eve, right?
Yeah. Well,
Or no, you're right. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
yeah. So why don't we table it? If it comes to the point and we disagree with it, then we can actually make our own ordinance.
Sure.
At least then we have some more better
I don't-
guidelines.
I don't think there's been a huge clamor for,
No.
I mean, it kind of exploded there for a couple weeks, but
Yeah.
I don't think it's really been, I mean, I don't know, am I crazy, chief, we get a lot of calls
We
about it?
haven't had any.
So do we have a motion to
I
table?
looked at the Marysville
I'll make the
ordinance,
motion to table.
and it's a little more
Get
comprehensive.
support for that?
Support.
Hassan, absent Schneider,
Yes.
Weaver,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Sukasar,
Yes.
Zukus W,
Yes.
Davis.
Next, we have Planning Commission, new business, Planning Commission, Foster's Oil. Planning Commission met with Foster's Oil concerning the new station that they were wanting to put here at the corner. This had all been approved at one point, and you all have in your packet a lot of information on this, where it had been approved before. The Planning Commission basically said that we're going to go with the old approval and reapproved it pending architectural drawings. So basically, this body can do the same thing, reapprove it pending architectural drawings, and they can get moving forward. Does anybody have any questions on it?
We hashed this around back in 2000, didn't we? And considerably. And I think Bill and I and Mrs. Garber set out even a committee prior to that and resolved a lot of issues that the residents had concerned, and those were all resolved, and actually it was all set to go. So not much has changed here, I don't think, except that one thing over there. But, so I would say we should approve this.
All right, anybody else have any questions, statements? Can I get a motion to approve it?
I'll make the motion.
I'll support it.
Schneider,
Yes.
Weaver,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Sukasar,
Yes.
Zukus W,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Hassan, absent.
So,
In
so you get your architectural drawings going, and we'll see where it goes.
In association with this approval of this gas station, one of the issues that we had was the dumpster.
Yes, it does.
Where to put the dumpster. And I've discussed with Bart and Foster's the possibility of taking the first 2 parking spaces out of our public parking lot, donating the land to him up to the second parking space. You have a small map in front of you that shows that parking space. What would remain public access as an access easement would be the lined portion of that. And in like a brick or concrete block enclosure back there would be his dumpster. It would be facing Potter Street, and the truck that would pick up the dumpster would pull into the parking lot and lift the dumpster. They'd be totally off the road. The other approved plan actually had it on the side of the building, where I believe the truck, if loading, would be out in the roadway, which is a fire lane. So I'd like to approve giving this land to Foster Oil as long as they will replace the existing fence on the south side of the property, pay for any transfer fees or survey or anything that has to be done for the lot split, and allow them to put their dumpster on this area. Does anybody have any questions on that?
So the accessibility to the parking lot doesn't change.
No.
This, we didn't see any difference. business matters.
Can I get a motion to let Foster move forward with this?
I'll make that motion that Foster's move forward with it.
Weaver,
Yes.
Wilson, Zucasar,
Yes.
Zucas W,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Mulsine, absent Schneider.
Yes.
Next item, thank you guys. Hey, when are you gonna have it built?
What time is it?
Yes, tomorrow.
You gotta tell me you'll have it built within at least 12 months. Can you tell me that? Okay, fantastic.
When do you think you'll have your actual drawings, roughly?
When you're ready to break ground, I'd love to do a little ceremony out there, get the paper out there, breaking ground on the new gas station. Have your council there.
I know there's some rocks over there that we want to save. There's some rocks there that we're going to save for it.
The Indian burial ground.
Yeah.
The Indian burial ground.
My house was on there. That was when my house was.
Yes, yeah, we will.
All right,
We're
fantastic.
either, you know, we're working on it right now actually, and, but it takes a while, and then we're gonna need to get them reviewed, get them approved here through the building department, so.
All right, fantastic, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Moving on, lot split. Is this the lot split or lot combination?
This is actually a lot of combination.
This is, this board before, put plan together for Ron Bomarito. He came because he couldn't refinance and he asked us to take it back apart, and we did. This is a recombination of the uncombination that we did before. And he promises me in 6 months he won't come back and have us take it apart again, so it will be put back together. So can I get a motion to allow him to combine these parcels?
This has been approved by the planning commission, by the way.
I'll make that motion.
That's worded.
Wilson,
Yes.
Zucasar,
Yes.
Zucas W,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Mulsine, absent Schneider.
Yes.
Weaver.
Yes. Next item, August 13th, 2013, from Mel McNutt. Dear City Council members, it's with great regret I submit my letter of resignation. The state of Michigan has changed the rules and regulations. I feel this creates conflict of interest. As of September 1st, I'll be stepping aside as your building inspector. It's been a pleasure working for the city for all these years. We don't have to accept this, from what I understand. Is that correct?
We don't accept it.
Well, like I said, what
Yeah, Mel, you've been an asset to the city, and it's been a pleasure working with you
I
all
started
these years.
here in 95.
Yeah, you've been here much longer than I have.
And actually, I started in 91, or 71. In 1971, I was building inspector for 2 years, and then at the time, you had to live in town, continue to be the building inspector. So from 71 to 73, I was building inspector, then all two town. And then, because I moved to Berlin at the time, I sold my house next to Dan's Commercial, basically. And so then I came back, and now I'm back. I came back to town here, and I had an opportunity to go back to town, and I'm still in construction. I've had opportunities to do a bunch of work, and as of April 24th, the state of Michigan passed legislation that you can no longer work in an area that you inspect.
And you are stepping down, but you're still available for construction projects should anybody in town
You know,
have
and
one.
to be honest with you, my W-2 last year was $500. You take taxes out of that, I could make more than one job,
Right.
you know? And
Well, it's a volunteer job. Anybody that works.
And I really enjoyed working for the city for all these years. And I grew up here, and it's always been important to me. I always tried to be fair with people. We had to follow the rules of the codes. And so I've been a visit, and I'll still be around.
Thank you very much. for
In
your
regards to that,
faithful
my
service.
backup, Jim Waddy is my backup right now. And he said that he would stay on until the city chose to hire someone to replace me.
All right.
If it's a month or 2 months, or I'm sure whatever will be a problem, he will fill in for me. I've got an opportunity to start the job when, after the 1st September. I'm still inspector for Armada Township and Empty Township and a couple other ones as a backup, but the little bit of money that was here, it doesn't outweigh the opportunities of the we work with local people that want to meet things.
Well, can I get a motion to regretfully accept his resignation?
Yeah, I'll make that motion and accept your resignation
Support it.
with regret.
Yeah, and I regret having to do it. So,
Thank you again, Mel.
So you started at 71, right? So that's when I moved up here. You were, I think, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken,
71.
you inspected my house when I moved up
yeah,
here.
71. Yeah.
Sukasar,
Yes.
Sukastabio,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Hassan, absent Schneider,
Yes.
Weaver,
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
All right, next is resolution to nominate qualifying citizen to fill the slate of mayor for the city election. Larry, you want to?
Yeah, now I have, you will accept the role and
I will accept the nomination, and should I win, I will remain mayor until I move from this
Okay,
mayor.
and the other individual, I don't think.
Denny Board.
Denny Board? Denny's here.
Then,
Are you gonna run also?
Yeah, you're gonna run against me. Somebody has to run against me.
Okay, I'll run against you.
Or,
Okay, thank
I
you.
didn't
for-
think you were gonna run again.
Yeah.
well, I
we have
wasn't
to-
going to,
We have to
but
have two people.
Gotta have two people.
we have to have two people.
Yeah.
And,
Okay.
as I told them, my medical condition prevents me from doing as good of a job as I'd like to. I'll still do as good a job as I can. It's not as good a job as I could have done a year ago, but I'll do the best I can with the physical limitations I have at this point. If I win.
Well, thank
But if you
Denny.
win, you have to too.
Well, thank you, Denny, for stepping forward, because it's very hard to get people, you know.
To get involved.
To get involved, so we thank you for
Yes,
that.
thank you.
So I will then make the motion and, under this resolution, to nominate Dan Weaver and Denny Board to run to fill the slate for mayor.
I'll support.
Don't you have 2 years left?
Pardon?
Don't you have 2 years left? Don't you have 2 years left?
Sukastabio,
What do you want?
Yes or no?
yes or no? An answer?
I gotta go ask something. I said yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Hassan, absent Schneider,
Yes.
Weaver,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Sukasar.
Yes.
All right, good luck, Danny.
Yep, same to you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, for you. Phil.
Next is Police Department Officer Liaison Position Agreement.
The city's first official victim of the Affordable Care Act.
The liaison agreement? Is it?
Part-time now, right? Yeah, that's it. 3 days a week, right? I'm sorry, I just.
Thanks, Tom.
Take it easy, guys.
Thanks, you guys. Thank you.
I'm sorry, Chief, go ahead.
You want to talk about this?
There's mayor on there, it should be 4 days a week,
Oh,
Monday through Thursday. And actually, it's only 7:30 to 1 that the school is paying for, not till 3.
And it's 4 days a week instead of 3.
Correct.
Otherwise, it's the same as last. no,
it says that it's okay because it says you can change the amount of days based on mutual agreement.
Right. Basically, the school tells him when, if something comes up that they need to change his days or times, it's agreed upon between Officer Blount and the school.
Anybody have any questions? Can I get a motion to approve this?
I'll make that motion. Support.
Davis,
Yes.
Hassan, absent Schneider,
Yes.
Weaver,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Sukasar,
Yes.
Sukastabio.
Yes.
Next is a budget amendment. This is transfer in for fire department out of equipment replacement, operating supplies. This is for the graphics on the new truck, right, or on the Enbridge truck.
Right.
Anybody have any questions on it? Can I get a motion to do the budget amendment?
I'll make a motion to
Oh,
do this budget amendment for the transfer
money to the equipment and replacement fund.
But Scott.
Sign absent Schneider,
Yes.
Weaver,
Yes.
Wilson, Lukasar,
Yes.
Lucas W,
Yes.
Davis.
I think it's,
Yes.
they use it for a new grass truck, I think.
Okay.
Grass one.
What?
That-
That was the graphics on that truck. We got.
Moving on,
Three.
other new
It's not the graphics.
things from the mayor.
I don't know where I got that letter.
First thing I have is I had talked to the, there it is. I've talked to the head of the school board
Yeah, just for me.
about the fact that we don't communicate as well as we possibly should, and picked his brain on if he would be open to us having a joint person that would go to their meetings, see what they're doing, and report from our meetings to them what we're doing, just to keep the lines of communication open, like a city council, school board liaison of some sort. I also talked to Judy Schick, who used to work at the school and is on our planning commission. She would be more than happy to do this for us if we would create that position a position like that. And it'd be unpaid volunteer work. I told her that, but it would give her an opportunity to see what the school's doing and report to us. The reason this came about is because this salt bin issue that has been such an issue. Last year, they built a brand new salt bin over at the school that possibly, if we had been communicating with them better, we could have made it bigger and big enough for us to share it at some point. There just isn't a lot of communication going on between us. They keep to themselves, we keep to ourselves. And it'd be nice to know what's going on over there.
Didn't Judy used to work for the school?
Yes, she was the secretary at the elementary school for years and years and years and years.
Not that long.
She's not that old, so she can
Well, I know when I moved here, my children were in elementary school over there, and she was
Like 10.
then.
When you were
Yeah.
a kid.
Anyway, if it be the will of this board, we will ask her to start going to their meetings and coming to one of our meetings a month and reporting to them. Is that the will of this board? Can I get a motion as such?
I'll make that motion.
Create a liaison position for the city council to the school board?
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Weaver,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Lukasar,
Yes.
Lucas W,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
sign absent.
Next, I've got a letter from Teresa Romack, who is our Parks and Rec Director. My name is Teresa Romack, the new Director of the Parks and Recreation Department. I'm in the process of planning a Halloween party for the whole community. The party will take place on October 5th at the Youth Center on Pratt Road. There will be games, a costume contest, snacks. I'm writing you today to ask if you'll be able to donate prizes and/or snacks for the community party. This isn't to us, this is her trying to get the businesses around, I believe, right? If you have any questions, please call me at 392-3651. More than welcome to attend the party. If you have any of your staff to help out for the party, that would be great also. I guess she's giving this to local businesses. It says business owners and/or managers. Other than that, I didn't know if we were supposed to bring up this fire department expense.
We just did the money transfer.
Is that?
Oh, that's what that is? Okay. They had an
Yeah,
they had an emergency expense that they told me about at the meeting on Monday. But the fire department wasn't here. I didn't know if we had to approve an emergency expense for
Well,
it.
we had a meeting, fire committee meeting, it wasn't addressed.
They didn't talk about the emergency expense. Marty told me at the meeting on Monday that there was an emergency expense and that he'd have to get it approved at this meeting, but he's not here, so
Might have been what it was.
maybe. Okay, that's all I have. Larry, you have anything?
No, I don't have anything.
Robbie?
I was kind of wondering now, somebody asked me about how the school buses got their gas. How come the city never looked into doing something like that for the fire department police cars?
How
Or
does the
Foster.
school? Let's get
They
that.
have big tanks
We have
sitting on.
tanks on the property.
The property.
Well, we got burned pretty hard with the tank before. And, you know, you open up a lot of environmental
We
concerns.
spent $65,000 to resolve the issue, I think, didn't we?
45,000.
And what was the quote? $4,000?
$6,000 was the quote for a clean
to clean it up.
closure.
Yeah, so that's why.
And, yeah,
We actually did discuss that before
Could you
too.
have,
Yeah.
even
We did
share the
discuss
expense with the
for
school?
tanks.
I just wonder why, okay.
Yeah.
We've
We've
looked
been
at
very
it.
leary of storing our own gas on
We have
the
diesel
properties
and
that the city
gas.
has.
Yes, yeah.
Plus you gotta remember too, that they have, what, 12 buses over there? And you have to use the gas up or it starts to get
Well, I just
water
thought
in it
even
and
if you
stuff like
shared
that.
the tanks, you might.
Yeah, that'd be great.
There was talk about putting it
Why I
down,
never did that.
there was talk about putting it down the DPW. Well, that's where your wells.
Yeah,
And I don't think-
Got water wells down there.
Yeah, you got wellhead protection, you can't be so far from
There
those.
you go.
I don't think that there's enough left over from the bus garage to have the city share with them. I'm not sure their tank is big enough to,
No,
Yeah.
the existing tanks that are at the bus garage right now
Are
would
too
not
small?
accommodate
yeah, I
a
think
shared thing
they-
unless he had more deliveries.
right.
Yeah.
I mean, they deliver whenever we need it. He
Plus it-
already just calls and they deliver.
I think it costs more too if you don't take like a full load of a truck, if you get like
Oh,
a
yeah.
partial load, you don't,
Yeah, it's 7 cents more a gallon.
yeah, there you go.
So, I mean, and there's, you know, there would be tracking problems of how do you track who used what.
We used to have a clipboard on the wall.
How did that work for you?
Not too well,
I just wondered how the school could do it.
I bet it wasn't any worse than a computer.
Because rather, I mean, you know, we have one person in charge, you know, of those tanks that
And a
no one
full-time,
else,
yeah, you have a
you know,
full-time person there.
no one else is,
Manning the
has
tanks.
access to those.
You know, with updated pumps, you're correct. You probably would issue a pin and
Right.
then, yeah.
My other thing is for when you do the school board at the liaison and all that, we never looked into the crossing guard that we're trying to eliminate having to pay for.
Well, that's something that she can
Why they don't pick
take
it
to
all up
them.
themselves.
You know, that's something that she can take to them as an issue and a concern of ours so that they can come back and give us an answer. Does that make sense?
a meeting on Thursday.
Well, she's taking care of it. Already taken care
About the
of it.
crossing guard issue? Okay.
All right, anything else?
I think that's it.
Frank, you got anything?
Yeah, back on August 1st and 2nd, we had the mint sales. This was the very first year the Lions had the mint sales out there.
How'd they go?
And it was very successful. We appreciate all the help we got from the community on that. And hopefully we'll be able to do that on a yearly basis from here on out. And it's good minutes. And we thank the community for their support on that.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Anything else?
That's it.
Eric?
I have nothing, sir.
I have. Got a few things here. One of them is, well, a couple of them are police. We're getting a lot of trucks going through town here that have hay by piles, 3 and 4 high above their cabs. And we have these 1,000-pound round jobs going through town.
Have you gotten your?
And these are not covered and they're not tied down.
Well, you know, we have to have the commercial training to give tickets for that. Does anybody in your staff have that certification? You're the only one. So right now, the only person who can give commercial tickets to trucks is our chief.
Okay. Now, this is the second question. This has to do with the chief. I've been asked to be more visible in town, and they want, people have asked me, where's the chief? Well, hell, I don't know, I'm in my garage. But they wanna know, what kind of workload have you got that you can't be visible?
You wanna come
So
over
what-
and see?
Pardon?
Would you like to come over and see?
Well, I gotta have to give them an answer.
I
they
invite
ask me and I don't know
anyone to
what
come in
they'll
at any time. All they have to do is call them.
They won't.
Well, that's no problem.
Whenever you got a one-man lady thing, let alone a police department, I've seen her
You know, and
in the office and out of the office, so.
from time to time, you hear these type of complaints, like even I've heard complaints, well, why is Bart in the truck
Why
with
is there
another
two
guy?
people in the DPW?
Yeah, and, or, you know, actually, I've had complaints, you know, a police officer drove past my house 3 times. Well, we're 1 square mile, they're driving in 1 square mile, they're gonna drive past your house a couple
You got
times.
6 miles of road.
Yeah. So, I mean, the thing is, when she's here working, she is here working. A lot of times she's in meetings and going over reports. I don't know if you remember the last chief and the problems we had with the reports and how much time she spent on those reports.
Right.
How about
You
court?
do have to make a concerted effort.
Yeah, I don't have the complaint, these are the people
Okay.
that asked me.
You do have to make a concerted
So I'm gonna have
concerted
you
effort
call her.
as chief of police
I'll have them call
to
you.
be visible. You know, and not be visible at the school, which she's visible at the school, not be visible at, I mean, you tell her where they want her to be visible, and I'm sure she'd drop by there a couple
Okay,
times.
fine.
Take it back.
As far as going for you too.
Here we go.
Uh-oh, okay, go ahead.
Why are there two people on the road? What?
The other day, I was sitting on the porch, the whistle went off, the fire engine's coming down. The fire truck pulled out to rescue. Some guy pulls up, he cuts him off, and an ambulance is coming right behind this guy. He's got a brake. I think we need a couple signs in town here that tells you where the fire department is at. Like they have a police sign out
I
here.
think there's one right in
Do
the
we
corner
have one
out
out here
here.
separately? There's none out here.
There's one up on the corner, I know, I'm pretty sure that says fire.
I don't think
oh,
so.
yeah, Police department? Well, I'll double check that sign, but I thought there was a
If
caution.
we have to get one, let's get one.
But if you need one, what do
A
you?
couple of them.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all for me.
Should I put them on the fire trucks or?
We'll on
Yeah.
them on a
I'm
telephone
kidding.
pole.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.